Hello guys, this is Noel 3D. Today I'm going to show you how I created this scene inside Blender 3.4. Now I'm going to show you the ways that I have used to achieve this result. I hope you will learn something from this tutorial. If you're interested, you can find this file on my Patreon. That's a great way to support me. So let's go to the tutorial. So when we start the tutorial, this is just an open blend file. It's just a new blend file. So the first thing that we need to do is let me delete this sunlight. So just select it, press X and delete. Maybe you are going to keep the camera and you are going to keep the cube. So first, what we're going to do is let us create the scene. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press N on my keyboard and I'm going to go to this item bar. As you can see, when I click item, I will have the transform property of any object that's selected. For example, for this cube, you can see the location, the rotation, the scale, and the dimensions, right? So what I'm going to do is let me create the ground. So just go to the top view. I'm going to press SX and scale it like this. SY, scale it like this. SX, yeah, I can make it something like this, you can adjust this one later. Press SZ, like this. This may be the ground where the plants, where the grass is going to be placed. And the next one is I can press shift right click right here, press shift A, and then I'm going to add a cube like this, as you can see. Then I'm going to press SX like this, or I can go right here and make the X dimension 0.2 meters like this. It's easy, and make the Z 3 meters. Now this is my wall or the compound wall. So I'm going to place it like this, right around here. Then after this, what I can do is I can press SY and scale in the Y axis like this, press GY, just XY, SY, just GY, and move it like this. And I'm going to press Shift P, then press RZ in the 90-degree, and then place it right here. As you can see, you can move, you can press G to move it. It's a really simple scene. Press SX like this, press GX, and it's like this. And then after this, I can press Shift right click, also right here, press Shift A, and I'm going to add a cube again. Press SZ and scale it like this. Press GZ, SC. I think this will be good. Yeah, 0.15 I think will be good. And then I'm going to press SX, SY, SY like this. Move this one right around here. Yeah, just leave some space for the IVs that we're going to place right here. Then again, I'm going to press Shift B to duplicate it. Then press SX, SY, something like this. And then after this, what I'm going to do is let me move this one right around here, and then move this one right around here. Yep, something like this. Press GX, maybe like this. Yeah. After this, what I can do is maybe press GY and move this one like this. SY. Just maybe SY. Just move it like this. Select this one, also scale it in the Y-axis, which is SY. I think the basics they are really simple in Blender. Yep, move it like this. And then again, I'm going to right click right here, press A, and then add a Q, press SX and SY. I think this will be good. Maybe S and then Shift Z, so that will only scale it on the X and Y axis, excluding the Z axis. Yeah, maybe something like this. Press GX. And then I'm going to go to this modifier properties and give this one an array modifier. Give it array modifier. Give it a little bit space. And then I can increase, I can increase the count like this. Increase the count like this. After this, I can press SC and scale it like this, SC. Select this one, go to this view. Let me move this one just a little bit downward. Press GZ. I think this will be good. Yep, I think this will be good. I can scale this SX and then scale it like this. Press GX. Yeah, move it like this. Yep. And then after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, hit tab to get inside of the edit mode, change this one to H selection mode and select this H, and I'm going to press Shift P to duplicate it, and then press P, and then select this selection. What it's going to do is going to separate the one that we have duplicated, which is the H. So after I have selected this one, hit tab to get inside of the edit mode, press A, press E to extrude it. As you can see now, it's extruding, but I want to fix it on the x-axis. So press X so that it will be extruded on the x-axis. So I think I have extruded enough to move it. All I have to do is press GX and then move it like. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl R to create edge loops. As you can see, if you hover around the horizontal line, you can create the vertical line. So I'm going to hover around the horizontal line and scroll my middle mouse upward like this. And I'm going to create a fence structure like this. Just scroll here and middle mouse upward to create more subdivisions. And also I'm going to create a vertical like this. You can see. For that, we have something like this. To make this a fence structure, what we are going to do is we're going to give it a wireframe modifier. So select this, go to modifier setting, select this add modifier, and select this wireframe. When I do that, as you can see now, I have a wireframe modifier. Let me apply the scale so that the modifier will be applied correctly. As you can see, the scale is not applied. So I'm going to press Ctrl A and type select the scale. Now, as you can see, the scale is applied. Now, everything is 1, 1, 1 on every axis. That's how you can tell the scale is applied. So just make sure that the scale is applied. I'm going to activate this boundary like this. So after this, what I'm going to do is let me create a plank right here. So just let me select this one. Or let me hide it. Just select it and press H to hide it. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to tap to get inside of the edit mode. I'm going to change this one to face selection mode and select the top face, press Shift P, and then press P and then selection. Now the top face has become a separate object. After it, I'm going to tab again. I'm going to give it a subdivision like this. I think one of the planks, yeah, I think the size of the plank would be good. After that, I'm going to select one of the plank, press P and then selection. After that, I'm going to delete this one since I'm not going to need it. Press X and then delete it. So select the one, this one, select it, and then give it a solidify modifier first. I'm going to give it a solidify modifier since it's just a plane. It's just a plane. It doesn't have any thickness. I'm going to change the offset to 1. Maybe apply the scale so that the modifier will be applied correctly. So press Ctrl A and apply the scale. Now the modifier is applied correctly. After this, I'm going to give it an array modifier, but I'm going to make it on the negative x-axis. So I'm going to type -1, and then maybe let me make it 0.01 like this. Yeah, so that I will have some kind of gap. Sorry. Let me increase the count like this. I think this will be good for the count to make it exact. I can select this one, hit tab, select this one, hit tab, select this face. Let me activate the snap button and change this one to H. And then I'm going to press GX and then snap it right here. Now everything is perfect, right? After this, let me give this blank some kind of bevel, right? Since it's a really sharp object. But the bevel is, as you can see, it's a little bit sharp. So let me decrease the value to 0.003 or maybe 0.002, and I'm going to give it a segment of 4 like this. Yeah, I think this is good. And also let me give this bevel, right? I'm going to apply the scale so that the modifier will be applied correctly. So I'm going to press Ctrl A and scale it like this and give the bevel 0.003 maybe, and then give it a segment of 4. And then maybe press GX and move it like this. Yeah, I think this will be good. So I'm going to press Alt 8 to unhide it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one and press X and delete it. Since this one has the proper plank and everything, I'm going to select this one. Select the bottom part also. I'm going to press Shift 3 to duplicate it. Deactivate the snap button so that it won't snap anywhere else. Press G and then I'm going to press RZ and then 90 degrees like this. And then I'm going to press S and then Y, maybe SX I think SX will be good. SX, and then press RZ and then 90 degree. Maybe this will be good. After we have done that, what I'm going to do is let me select the top view, the top part, and the bottom part like this. Hold on Shift to select multiple object. Press GZ, and then just make it like something like this. Something like this would be good. And then after that, what you can do is you can select this one. Press Alt D like this, and then press GZ, move it to the bottom, and then press S to scale it like this, and then press SZ, and then scale it like so that this will be the support system. You don't have to worry about this much since this is not going to be visible that much. Just make sure that you have created the support system. And I'm going to select this one also. I'm going to press Alt D to duplicate it, press S to scale it just a little bit, and then SZ, and then press GZ and move something like this. Since there is going to be grass covering it, you don't have to worry about it. So guys, this is for the modeling part. You can perfect this one as you like, you can do it with the dimension that you desire, which I'm going to do. I'm going to fix everything so that it will be good, or it will be similar to the project file that you have seen. So I'm going to copy everything, the basis of this from that project file. Since I've already spent that, I've already spent the time on that, I'm going to copy all of the necessary things from there, and we can proceed. So guys, this is the final scene. This is the modeling of the final scene. It's bigger than the previous one. As you can see, the planks are a lot smaller, as you can see. So after this, the next thing that we're going to do is let us set up the camera. So we have this camera, which we have not deleted. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to press my numpad 0 like this, so that I can get inside of the camera view. After this, to navigate this, what you can do is go to view and then navigation and select this walk navigation. When you do that, you can go and you can move something like this. So by using your mouse, and then you can press W to go forward, S backward, A to the left, D to the right, Q downward, and E upward, which is a basic game navigation. You can use scroll your middle mouse downward so that you can decrease your speed, or increase your middle scroll your middle mouse upward so that you can increase the speed of the movement. So just you can place the camera like this, something like this. And then you can select this camera and go to this camera properties. You can see the focal lengths. You can decrease the focal lengths, and the Shift X, you can Shift Y. We have this depth of field, the camera, the viewport display. So for example, if I make this one like this, I won't see anything outside of the camera view. I think there are also composition guides. I use this thirds and all of this so that I can place the camera correctly. So for example, if I want this wall to be the center, what I'm going to do is I can just go to this and move it something like this, right? Yeah, just the gap from this line to this edge and the gap from this line to this edge have to be similar, so you can center your image by using this composition guides. The next thing is, as you can see, this line is not parallel to this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type this 90 so that my camera will be really placed vertically. And then I'm going to make this one to 0 and then make the 0 to 0 like this. Now I can place the camera like this, move it like this, maybe decrease the height, or just I can keep the height like this and then decrease the Shift Y, as you can see, without placing changing the rotation of the camera like this. Maybe press move it something like this. Yeah, I think this would be good. So this is our camera view. Maybe press GY and move it in the wax like this. Maybe something like this will be good. So guys, after this, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to texture the scene. So to do that, let me navigate outside of the camera and change this one to EV Material Preview. So to texture this, we're going to use a free add-on called Easy PBR. install their add-on. I have shown you on different tutorials how you can install add-ons and also the specific add-ons. So just install that add-on. After you have installed it, you can go to the shader editor and you can find it right here, this EPBR. So what I'm going to do is just let me select this load library. As you can see, we have local and online. So let me start with this ground. So I'm going to select this and I have different options. I'm going to select this grass. And for the grass, we have 4 types of grasses. So just you can click this download and it will download. So I have already downloaded it. So in the local, you will find the one that you have downloaded it. So I have downloaded grass 1 and grass 04. So I'm going to use grass 04. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to hit plus. And then after I have done that, it will give me an option, material in node group. I'm going to select this material since I want the material to be applied. And then I can select this, the resolution. Since I've already downloaded 1K resolution, I'm going to only see this 1K. But when I download, for example, as you can see, you can select all of the resolutions that you want. For example, I can select 2K and then I can hit OK and it's going to download. But for this case, I only need this 1K. So after I have done that, just hit plus as I've shown you and I'm going to hit OK. And then if I go to this material properties, right here, as you can see, the material has been assigned, grass 004. So in case the placement of this is not correct in your case, what you can use, select this one, make sure that you have applied the scale, press Ctrl A, and then apply the scale. After you have done that, keep tab to get inside of the edit mode, press A and then U, and then cube projection. Make sure that you have done that so that the texture will be placed properly. After you have done that, you can see different properties. For example, I can increase the scale. For example, if I press Shift A and then type value, and then I can plug the value right here. After I have done that, I can use this one to navigate to change the scale of the grass so that it will have the proper scale. So if I press 0 in my camera view, I think maybe make it. I think this will be good since it's not going to be visible that much. We don't have to worry about it. After this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the specular to 0 since I don't want this to be reflective. Yep, I think this will be good. So this is for the grass, and then for the wood, I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to do this online, and go to wood. Here's the wood, and then as you can see, we have wood floor. I don't want this wood floor. I can go to this wood. What kind of wood should I choose? Maybe this wood 49, and I'm going to hit download, and then I'm going to hit OK after until it's finished downloading. Maybe I can use this 2K version also. I can download both of them. So guys, it has finished downloading. So what I'm going to do is let me get closer and then make sure that the scale is applied. So after that, tap to get inside of the edit mode. After that, what you can do is press A and then right click and then mark seam. Just mark the seam like this. Since this is a cube, you can unwrap it like this. And then after this, I'm going to press A, U, and then select this unwrap. We need to unwrap it. And then I can hit plus. Then I can hit OK for the 1K. If you want 2K, you can also use 2K. As you can see, this is the UV map. So what I'm going to do is change the scale or press Shift A and then add a value as we have done earlier. Plug this one right here. Then make this one 5 or something like this. As you can see, maybe 10 will be good. After that, maybe I could rotate the position of for the placement of this texture. The rotation type 90. Maybe this will be good. Maybe this will be good. Sometimes what I do is I can unplug this one, make everything just selected like this, and then type 10. Then after that, maybe I can increase the Y like the X like this. Yeah, so that's, you get my point. I can scale it on the one axis, bigger than the other one. Yeah, this might be good. What I can do next is maybe I can use press Shift A and then search RGB curves. Then place this one right here. And then after this, what I can do is if I want to make it darker, I can make it darker like this. If I want to give it, contrast, I can I can give it, just make it darker right around here, make it brighter like this, so that you'll have more contrast. If I want to decrease the rate, I can decrease the rate like this. If I want to increase it, or I can just reset the curve, and I can search, press Shift A and then add hue saturation node like this. By also using this, you can, change, the hue and the saturation like this. You can make it gray. You can decrease the value and make it darker. So you can just use this manipulation to change, the characteristic of this plant. So after this, what I can do, I can just drag and drop the material like this, drag and drop it like this, just drag and drop it everywhere where there's supposed to be a wood. Yep, like this. If the scale of the placement of the wood is not correct, as I've told you, just you can select this one, hit up to get inside of the drop, plus AU, undrop like this. Yep. After you have done that, maybe I think what you can do is in the UVs, you can offset the UVs like this. So for example, if this is 0 as it was before in the default like this, but if you change it like this, as you can see, you can create some kind of variations. As you can see, you can create some kind of variations. I can also select this one. If the texture is big, I can press Ctrl A and apply the scale, press AU, and then unwrap, select this one, press Ctrl A in the scale, press AU, and then unwrap, so that, I'll have similar placement of the textures, I think this is good. We can adjust this one. For example, if the placement of the texture is bigger than this one, what we can do is we don't have to, give it a different water. And also, if we try to adjust this one, as you can see, it's going to adjust everything else. So if you want this to only be adjusted, what you can do is just select it, go to this UV editor, and hit tab. This is the UV map. Press A. You can just press S to scale it like this. I think this is similar. Yeah, you can use this method. And also, I think this one is bigger. Hit tab, press A. Hit tab, press A right here, and also press A to select the UV islands or maps, and then press S to scale it like this. Maybe this will be good. So guys, this is what you can do. And then also you can go to the shader editor again. You can give this a concrete texture or any kind of wall plaster. Just you can go to this plaster, whereas wall plaster or painted plaster like this. You have this, washed out plasters. Maybe you can use this, hit download and hit OK, and you can use this. And also for this one, what we can do is just you can select this one. You can hit new, and then I'm going to use glossy BSDF, and I'm going to make it look like a metal. So I'm going to decrease the roughness and make it black like this, so that it will be reflective, or you can make it green so that it will blend with the green that we're going to place right around here. So guys, I'll give this one a concrete structure or any kind of plaster that you want. I'm going to give this one a concrete structure of my own. I'm going to change the texture of this one, and also everything, so that it will be the way that I want it to be. Some of them are not free, so just you can use this one for your case. But for my case, I'm going to use my own textures. So guys, this is the texture that I have used. This is the concrete structure, and this is the plank. I know it's not that repetitive as it was before, right? It's better than the previous one, but yeah, since if I press 0, you won't see the plank that much, so you don't have to worry about it that much. Just try to get a really good concrete texture. I think this is good. I think you will find something like this in this website or any other free website. So guys, this is for the texturing. So guys, after this, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to import the assets and place them accordingly. So to do that, we are going to use assets from 3D Warehouse. So I'm going to place the link in the description below, for the IVs that we are going to use. There are different kinds of IVs which you have to download, and a different kind of trees. There are really good trees inside 3D Warehouse. Just download them, which I will place the link in the description below for the specific items that I will provide, for this tutorial. So after you have downloaded them, you have to adjust them. So to do that, I'm going to show you with a new plain file. So let me open a new plain file. So after this, what you have to do is press A and then press X and then delete everything. After that, go to Edit and then go to Preferences and then go to Add-ons. To install, to import this SketchUp, files, you need an add-on called SketchUp Importer. You'll find the link in the description below. Download that file. It's a zip file. After I've done that, click this Install. And then go to the file that you have downloaded. Select the zip file, then select it and select this Install add-on. After you have done that, if I type SketchUp imported, you will find it like this. Just make sure that this one is activated. After you have done that, select this one in the Save Preferences. Make sure that this is, ticked like this, activated. So after that, what you can do is go to File and then go to Import, and then you'll see Import SketchUp C. So I'm going to select this one. So I'm going to go to dollars, where where I place most of my dollars. So I have a lot of things, a lot of trees, a lot of really high quality grasses. As you can see, you also have to download grasses and also some kind of trunk if you want. But for this case, let me show you with one tree on how you can import from this 3D arrows. So I'm going to select this one, right click. I can copy the name, rename, and then just where is it? Sorry. Where is the tree? Just let me select this one, right click, rename, and then I can select the name like this, right click, and then copy the name. Or what I can do is I can just select this one and then drag and then drop it right here. Now the name is right here, or I can just paste the name right here. After this, just let me deactivate the scene as camera, and then I'm going to import the escape. So as you can see, this is the tree. It doesn't look much, but we are going to correct it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is let me drag this one like this and change this one to shader editor like this, and change this one to material properties. This one is the trunk and this one is the leaves. So let me adjust the leaves first. And before I do anything, just go to material properties. Since this is EV, in the viewport display, change the blend mode to alpha hashed. This one also has alpha hashed. To see to make you see the change, let us keep it opaque. And then I'm going to select one and press G to move it like this. Let me activate shortcuts also on this new file, and then press N to slide it in. So the leaf is already selected, right? And the leaf is selected. So in order to delete the black part, we need to plug the alpha of this image to the alpha of this principal base leaf like this. But when we do that, we don't see that much change, right? We see some change. For example, if I unplug it, as you can see, we see some kind of change, but it's not what we want. So the reason for that is, if I change the blend mode to alpha hashed, as you can see now, we don't see the black part anymore. Also, let me change the shadow mode to alpha hash so that we will have better shadows. In case if we are using this inside EV, but if you are using this inside cycles, this does not help you with anything. It's just since we're going to adjust the material on in EV, you might have to do this so that you can see it clearly. So after this, what we're going to do is, let me change this to cycles, this render and rendered view. Since the render view is already on cycles, then let me change this to GPU like this. Let me activate this denoise and click this one, and let me deactivate this scene world so that I can use the HDRI from EV like this. And then after you have done that, select this one, or we don't have to select it, just select this material. That's what we want. Let me give it some kind of translucency, since I want the light to pass through it, right? As you can see, when I do this, the light is not passing through. So what I can do is I can press Shift A and then type Add Shader. I can place the add right here, and I'm going to press Shift A, then type translucent, and then plug the color. Sorry, plug the color right here. Plug the color like this, and plug the this one like this. As you can see now, our tree is being translucent, which is passing through some kind of light. This is what we want. So after this, what we can do is I can press Shift A and then add a bump node, and then plug this bump right here in the normal, and plug this one on the height like this. But I'm going to make the distance to 0.005 since I don't want that much of bumpiness on the leaves. And then after this, let me plug this one to the roughness like this, and I can press Shift D to duplicate it and click this so that it will be a different texture. And then I'm going to change this one to non-color data like this, and I'm going to use for this for the color ramp like this. Yep. And I'm going to type color ramp in the search. Just press Shift A and then type color ramp, and you'll see this. And I can press Ctrl Shift click like this. So the black part is the one which is going to be reflective. So if I make it something like this, for example, and if I Ctrl Shift click this one, and then just navigate like this so that I can see the reflectivity. As you can see, the leaves are very reflective, as you can see. But if I, for example, make this one like this, they're not that reflective, right? So you can control the reflective like this. Just I can select Ctrl Shift click like this, and then make this one like this. Maybe move this one, something like this, and Ctrl Shift click this one. Yep, this is the one that we want to view. And also what I can do is I can press Shift A and then type object info like this, and then I'm going to plug this one right here. Well, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to create some kind of hue and value variations among this tree or among this material setup. So I'm going to show you in a bit, and then I'm going to add a hue saturation node like this, and I'm going to plug this one right here and plug this one right here. I want the hue to be in between, in between the image texture and the base color. And then after this, I'm going to add a color ramp like this. Then I'm going to plug the random right here, and for example, let me plug this one to the hue. So what I'm going to do is, if I select this one, press Alt D and then Y like this, and then Alt D Y again. As you can see, we have the same material, the same kind of tree. I'm using Alt D. They have the same instances, but the texturing is different, or the color is different. The reason for that is this one. So as you can see, we have a color variation, but we don't want the color variation to be this much. So what we can do is I can make this to be black like this. Whenever the difference between one point of the color ramp to the other point is bigger, the color change is going to be bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one and make it closer to this, closer to that, closer to this one. For this, I'm going to press Shift A and then type I'm going to Shift A and then add a math node. I'm going to keep it on add like this. So for example, as you can see, by using this, I can select, I can control, any property that comes from here with this math node. So for example, if I make it to 1, it's going to be the original one. If I make it 0, I think it's going to be the original one also. But if I make it something around here, as you can see, we have the proper green value. We only did a slight change. Press Alt D again. I think we are having some kind of difference, right? So the next thing that what we can do is, for example, we can plug this one to the value also like this, but we don't want this. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be for the hue, and let me select this one, press G to move it. I'm going to select this one, press Shift D, and then plug this one to the random, and this one to the value like this. And I'm going to press Shift D and then place this one right here. I'm going to make this to 1, for example. Maybe just, yeah, I think 1 would be good. So for example, if I disable it, we're not seeing that much change because the difference is maybe, have difference like this. So for example, if I disable it, we're not seeing that much change because the difference is maybe have difference like this. So for example, if I disable it, we're not seeing that much change because the difference is maybe have difference like this. So for example, if I disable it, we're not seeing that much change because the difference is maybe have difference like this. Yeah, I think this would be good. Maybe disable it and enable it. Yeah, as you can see, we have some difference, right? We have some difference. This is what we want. In case if you don't want the hue to be this much, maybe just, I mean, if you want the hue to change, just, the cruises like this. Yeah, or, you can select this one. Just make it black, more black like this. Yeah, make it more black. So guys, by using this, you can create variations among one material. This is what you can use. And for the trunk, what you can do is just select it. This is the trunk, or just select the leaf. I'm going to copy all of the property from here. I'm going to press Ctrl C, and then I'm going to press Ctrl Z like this, and then press G to move it. And then I'm going to press G and replace this. I'm going to replace this one like this. I'm going to plug this one on the color. This one like this. Sorry, we don't need this translucency and everything. Just plug this one like this, and then I'm going to press Shift and duplicate it. Select this one, so it will be separate texture, and then change this one to non-color value, and then I'm going to plug this one to the factor, or I can also use this as a height. So after this, I'm going to press X, select this one, and then press X, and then press X and then delete it. So this is for the trunk. So our trunk also have some kind of bumpness, roughness, and everything. But for this one, we are going to decrease the roughness like this. Maybe make this one a little bit more white and decrease the reflectivity. Maybe increase to 0.5 or something, since I want this trunk to have a really bumpy texture. And also what I can do is I can select this one, press Shift D like this, and then increase the value to maybe 1.5. For the trunk, 1.8, since it's a lot darker because of the bumpness. So like this. So maybe for the bump, for the tree and for the trunk, we don't need the change in hue saturation. Maybe a little bit of value will be good. So guys, this is what you can do when it comes to importing 3D warehouse files inside Blender. This is the step that you have to take. You can make it really sophisticated, but this is the simple way to have a really a simple and great results. So after you have done that, what you can do is I'm going to select this one, press Ctrl C, copy it, for example, and go to this place, press Ctrl V, and then paste it, right? Paste it, and then I'm going to press G and move it like this, and then I can press Alt T and then move it like this and place it right here. You can go just inside the camera view and place the trees according to there. Press G and then Shift Z, like this. I can press S to scale it. So guys, by using this method, import those IVs, everything, just all of the 3D warehouse asset, and just place them in the place that you wanted to place, or in the place that are necessary. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to place the IVs and everything. IV right here, IV that's growing from the ground, and also IV on this fence. I'm going to place some kind of tree and some kind of tree on the background. So that's what I'm going to do. Just do that. So guys, this is the scene when I have imported all of the trees and everything. Then the next process is going to be I'm going to import the furnitures right here. So to do that, let me go to the previous file. This is the trees. I'm going to press A and then X and then delete everything. And let me go to the solid preview. So this is the file. After this, just go to File, and then Import, and then go to SKPC. And I'm going to go to the Downloads folder to import the desired furniture. So just let me drag down and let me select one of the material that I'm going to use. For example, this is the sofa that we are going to use. So I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to drag and drop it like this. Just let me drag and drop it like this. Then I'm going to import, and I'm going to wait until this is imported. So guys, this is the file. As you can see, this is the the file. So if I go to my material preview, as you can see, everything is different like this. So just select it and use the same method that I've shown you for the trunk, right? This is not a translucent material, so just use the method that I've shown you for the trunk. Just exclude the object difference, or you can also use that, the one that we have used to change to create color variations. So do this for everything, and for the plant, maybe change this plant. This is a really low poly plant, and also just select this, press X and delete it. Just use another plant. You can download it. So after you have done that, as you can see, for movement, this is not easy. So what you can do, just select everything like this. Make sure that you have one active object. Hold on Shift and select one of them. Right click and then join. Now this is an active object, as you can see. Now the materials have been combined like this. So if you want to change or manipulate this one, you can hit tab, change this one to face selection mode, and that's its face. When you do that, this is the material that's going to be assigned, and this is the property, and you can change or manipulate the node group right here. And if you want to control this texture, for example, I can select this one, as you can see, and the corresponding material is this blue one. But for example, as you can see, sometimes the UV mapping is not going to be correct. As you can see, that the mapping is not going to be correct. So what you can do is just select this one. As you can see, this is selected, and I'm going to hit select. Now this is going to select all of the material which has these textures on them. After I have done that, I'm going to press U and then select this Smart UV project, and I'm going to hit OK. Now, as you can see, now this has a proper UV map. So as you can see, the scaling is a little bit big. So what you can do is just go to UV editor. This is the UV map. I'm going to press A, and then I'm going to press S to scale it. You can deactivate this overlays. Press S to scale it. Press S to scale it. I think the texturing is good. So after that, I'm going to change this one to shader editor, and I'm going to deactivate activate this overlays. Now I can just create the node group, the roughness, and everything. In case also the scale is not good for you, this one you can just scale it and give it the look that you want. So after you have done that, all you have to do is just press Ctrl C, copy it, and then press Ctrl V and then paste it, and then press G and move it like this, and then press RZ the 90, sorry, RZ 90, and then hit minus so that it will be inverted, and press enter, and then press GX, then press GY, then GZ. Just by using this method, place them on the proper place, and also populate it with this dang table right here, some kind of shade right here, and some kind of plant. Just do all of those things. Okay, so this is what I have done. As you can see, I have finished like this. So the one thing that's going to be different is for this one, for example, I can hit tab, and I'm going to change, select this one and change this one to face selection mode. And the one thing that's different right here from other one is for this is going to be some kind of translucent, right? It's going to pass through some kind of light, right? So what I have done is instead of add shader, I have used a mix shader. In the previous one, I have used, for example, if I select this tree, as you can see, I have used add shader, right? Just plug this one with the translucent like this, and then plug the translucent on the second one and the BSDF on the first one. But for this one, I have used mix shader. As you can see, I have used 0.175. Just the same process, just changes like this. So this is the difference. And also for this one, for this table, just hit tab like this, select this table. It's just a glossy with a roughness of 0.674 and a value of 0.8 for the value. So this is the basic setup that I have used. So guys, after this, what we are going to do is we are going to scatter a grass right here. So to do that, I have imported also some grasses. As you can see, this is a grass from 3D Warehouse. This is from Polyhaven, I think. It's a free. I will place the link in the description below for this one also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one. I have created a vertex group for this one. I will show you the reason for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this particle properties, hit plus like this, and I'm going to change this one to hair. and I'm going to change this one to advanced. And in the render, I'm going to for this one, I'm going to use object, and I'm going to click this one for the placement. So after this, make sure that you know the grasses and everything is rotated 90 degrees like this. Press N. As you can see, it's not rotated 90 degrees, and also all of those three like this. And then let me select this one, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this object rotation. Now it's fixed like this. So after this, let me increase the scale so that it will match the size of the grass. I think something like this will be good. And then after that, what I'm going to do is maybe increase the number like this. Just yeah, maybe something like this. Maybe this is too much. And then for the texture or for the vertex group, I'm sorry, I'm going to use this group as the density. So I'm going to use this one, but it's not working. The reason for that is if I go to this vertex properties, nothing is assigned for this vertex group. So I'm going to tap to get inside of the edit mode. As you can see, this is just a plane. So I'm going to press Ctrl R, give it a subdivision like this, Yeah, just give it a subdivision like this. What I'm going to do is hit numpad 3 to change this to face selection mode. So I'm going to select this face, and I'm going to assign, and then hit outside of the camera the edit mode, and then let me go to this. Yeah, let me assign it again. As you can see now, it's working correctly. Since I want this to be inverted, what I'm going to do is I'm going to invert it like this. So guys, this is what I have done. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one again, and also let me change this one to solid preview. Let me select this one. Let me make this one to 1500. I think this is too much. Maybe 700 will be good. I don't need that much. After this, let us create another particle system for the widths. As you can see, I have another widths. Before that, I'm going to select them like this. Press M, and then select create new collection. And I'm going to name them widths 1 like this, and I'm going to OK. Now they have been moved to a new collection which is called widths. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to class like this, and I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to select the first one, this one, particle system, that all of the property will be copied to the second one, but they are identical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one so that they will be different. Whenever I make manipulation to this one, it won't be applied to the first one. But if I have not clicked that number that you have seen previously, it would have any manipulation that I do on any of them will be applied to the other one. So just make sure that you have duplicated it and separated it if you want the properties to be different. So after this, what I'm going to change is I'm going to change this to collection, and I'm going to change this to widths 1. As you can see now, I'm using this. So I'm going to select this one again. I'm going to activate this group like this, and I'm going to reverse it. Now the width also is going to be placed right here. Let me decrease the scale, something like this will be good. Maybe I can select this one, hit tab to get inside of the edit mode, and go to this vertex properties, and I'm going to hit select, so that this will be selected. Maybe I can hold on, or I can just select this like this, and then I can hit assign also, so that this will be assigned. So if I get inside of outside of the edit mode, the grasses in the widths are not going to be placed right here. This ones that you can see is the ones that I have placed manually, but everything, as you can see, it's excluding this area and also this area. So after this, what I can do is just I can increase the number. Maybe for the first one, I can rename it. I can make this one grass, and I can just name this one widths like this. So for the grass, maybe I can increase the number like this. I can hit number 0 so that I can see it through my camera view. So I think this is good. Maybe decrease the size like this. Yeah, maybe decrease the size like this and increase the number. Yeah, increase the number like this. So guys, after this, the next step is lighting. So to do that, the first thing that we need to do is we need to install an add-on called Easy HDRI, which is going to help us for the lighting. So to do that, go to Edit and then Preferences. And in the add-ons, click this install, and then download the zip file, which you'll find in the description below. And then after that, select that zip file and click this install add-on. It will be installed. Then after that, you'll see something like this, easy HDRI. Make sure that this one is activated. After that, just click right here and then select save preferences. It will be saved. After that, to find this HDRI, where you'll find it is if you press N on your keyboard, and if you search like this, you'll find an easy HDRI like this. It will be something like this. For this add-on to work correctly, you'll need to download a bunch of HDRIs and place it on a single folder. So to download an HDRI, we know the famous website called polyheaven.com. Just go there and download a bunch of HDRIs. For this specific tutorial, I will place the link in the description below for the specific HDRI that we are going to use. So I'm going to select this folder and I'm going to go to downloads, which is the place where I've downloaded those HDRIs, and I'm going to hit accept. After that, as you can see, it will display all of the HDRIs that I have downloaded. As you can see, I have a bunch of HDRs. Wait them until all of them have been loaded. So what I'm going to do is let me go to this render properties, change this one to cycles, and change this one to GPU. And then let me change this one to 1024 in case we have forgotten. We will forget it when we render. So just make sure this is 1024. I'm going to activate the denoise for the viewport. And for the color management, we'll manage it after we see what we get. So after this, let me go to this render view like this. As you can see, this is what we are seeing. We're not seeing that much. The reason for that is the easy HDRI has not created the HDRI setup. So to do that, I'm going to select this create world nodes. As you can see now, we have the world node. But the one thing is, this add-on is not working properly for the Blender 3.4. So what I'm going to do is let me change, you know, the HDRI that I'm going to use. For this one, I'm going to use this one. As you can see, I will place the link in the description below. So just and then I'm going to activate the render region like this. So it will only be rendered on the region. As you can see, everything is looking good, right? If you have done everything correctly, you know, everything is going to look good. But since, you know, I have spent a lot of time on this project, you know, I have adjusted everything so that it will look good. So maybe that's why it's looking good after I have selected this render preview. So in case if it's not looking good for you case, you might have to spend some time on it. I've already done that. Since this is just a tutorial, I'm just showing you in a fast pace. That's why. So don't worry if yours is not looking good like this, or it might even look better. So just if it's not looking good like this, just take your time and then try to see why it's not looking good. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to world. Make sure that you're on shader editor. We're going to manipulate everything that we need right here. So what I'm going to do is, this one is the value where you can manipulate the sun, and this is the color, and this is the strength of the sky like this. So we're not going to change any of this. We're going to change the two parameters, which is the strength of the sun and then the rotation of the HDRI. So for this case, I have used the Z rotation of 175 degrees like this. This is the rotation of the sun that I have used. And then for the sun strings, I have used 0.01 like this. 0.01 is good. And then after this, what I'm going to do is in the color management, I'm going to use medium high contrast, so it will be contrasty. And I'm going to use an exposure of 1 like this, and I'm going to use scarce like this, and maybe make it a little bit more darker like this. Just give it contrast, you know, maybe 0.8 something, maybe. Yeah, I think 1 will be good as it is. And then maybe I can just, you know, place play with the colors and something like this. So if I deactivate it, as you can see, this is the change. Yeah, this is the change that we have got. So guys, as you can see, everything is looking good. Everything is looking good, right? You can select this and you can decrease maybe the amount of the grass. Maybe 1000 will be good. Maybe 1000. Press Control S. Or maybe what I can do is in the weeds, maybe increase the scale so that they can be visible, as you can see. Yeah, so that they can be visible. Maybe if we are seeing the ground, maybe I can change the seed or maybe 1300 would be good. Maybe scale randomness. I can use scale randomness. Go to the solid preview so that I can use scale randomness properly. As you can see, this is the scale randomness like this. Yeah, I think this will be good. Maybe it's different seed. Yeah, I think this will be good. So just go to the render view to see what we have got. So I think everything is looking good. I can change the tree. For example, I can select this tree. I don't like this tree, so I can press X and delete it. And then in the asset browser, I have created a set of trees like this from 3D Warehouse. All of this that you can see are from 3D Warehouse. And if you're interested, maybe I can show you how you can create a library like this from only using free sites from 3D Warehouse. So I'm just going to select this short trees and then maybe use this tree. So let me go to this solid preview, and then I'm going to import it like this. Change this one to 3D viewport like this, and then maybe place it like this, and then press GZ maybe like this, and then let us see what we have got. Yeah, this is the tree. Maybe move it like this. So guys, after you have finished everything, placing everything that you need, what you have to do is go to this output properties, and then if you want to increase the resolution, you use 150, and if you want the render to be 4K, use 200% like this. And then pretty much after this, all you have to do is click this render and then render image. It will render your image. So guys, this is all for today. I hope you have learned something from this tutorial. And if you're interested, you can like and subscribe so that I can keep making videos like this in the future. And see you in the next tutorial.